Welcome to episode 3 of Run Your Life podcast. My name is Sandra, and if you are new here, this is a podcast for the average runner. Like I'm talking average, but you spend a lot of time trying to be above average and really good at being average. So if that describes you, then you are in the right place. And this podcast isn't just exclusively for runners. This is a podcast for people who want to regularly move their bodies. That movement can look different for everybody. For me, it looks like running, but it also looks like a daily 5K. It also looks like sometimes I run the 5K, sometimes I walk my 5K. Sometimes I'll throw in a bike ride. Sometimes I'll throw in just walking on the street. It's about daily movement. It's about being active in the body that you were given, because we never know how long we have this body for. So that's who this podcast is for. I definitely spend a lot of time and effort into being the best, back of the pack, average, above average, below average runner that there is out there. I mean, I even have my own podcast now. And I even have my own YouTube channel. So welcome to episode 3. And, every week is a new week. And I don't know what I'm going to talk about today, but I have made a few notes based on the episode 2 and your feedback, of course, because I listen to your feedback. And so let's get started. What have I got here? Well, I've got some hydration vests, because apparently the internet said that, we shouldn't be wearing hydration vests unless we're running really long runs. Fuck that. So this is my trusty blue hydration vest. It is from Osprey, and I wear this vest on 5K walks. Okay, let that piss off the internet trolls. And I do this because I like to have my trusty selfie stick in here, because I take my job very seriously of being a below average running influencer. And of course, this is a spot here for the flasks. It goes in here. And then of course we have to have zippers for snacks and toilet paper, because my nose runs like crazy. Also, you won't believe what arrived today. Like literally, arrived today, which is perfect timing because it lets me try them out well before. Be careful, Sandra. All right. So, as you know, I've mentioned it before, but Mount to Coast has so kindly agreed to sponsor the first 4 episodes of this podcast. They don't even know me, except they know that I'm an average, below average, above average runner that takes my job super seriously. So, wouldn't you have it? Wouldn't you believe it that the new pair of, I'm hoping this is the box. Oh my God, these are so pretty. These are so pretty. These are the new M1s. And I can't wait to try them. I ordered them in a size 10 men's, because the 10 men's in general are a little bit wider. It comes with this really cool, very nice, informative card. And it also has all of their sneakers on the back. And sure, this is a sponsored podcast, kind of sponsored, but you're here because you like running. So why not get informed about sneakers? These, oops, I better take there we go. So super bouncy, responsive, and look at the grips on the bottom of these babies. I love their dual shoelace system. So you could actually, this isn't a zip tie, but it's kind of like a zip tie, where you can close this or open this and loosen it up or tighten it up however you want. And they've now added a new zip tie kind of elastic thing here that makes the middle part cinch into your foot even better. And of course, you've got the second part having regular laces. Not to mention, these look really nice. Like, these are fire. So you can save 10% off of this new pair that just came out, that all the elite runners are training in right now, by using the code Sandra10. All right. So go ahead, use that code. Ugh. Yes, very roomy. I'm a size 9.5 men's, and I went to a size 10 because I want my feet to be able to have room to expand, especially during 25 to 30 mile runs. I'm doing a 50K, which is 32 miles. That's coming up in a month, less than a month now. And these will be the test shoe for that because I plan to wear these at Javelina 100. Okay, so back to hydration vests. And the other two hydration vests that I have had this Nathan vest. It's a Vapor 5 liter for probably 6 years now. Yeah, I would say, oh no, oh, this stinks. 2018 or 2019, I bought this vest. So more than 6 years. And it was a unisex, extra large. It's probably worn off, but it has absolutely served me well. Let's see. It does not say the size. So this vest has absolutely served me well. And then I have the Salomon Advanced Skin 5. So the reason I bought this vest was because I wanted a second vest at Javelina, because when I come in after each loop, I'm going to take off the vest I'm wearing, hand it over to my crew. They're going to have the alternative vest waiting for me. It's already going to be pre-filled with the food that we have pre-planned for that loop. They will have already filled it. They're going to take my old vest off, and then they're going to hand me the new vest that has the food, the hydration, the flasks that have already been icing for 5 hours, because that's how long it'll take me to do each loop. So we're going to alternate vests, and that will reduce time of me wasting at each loop and after finishing each loop, so that I can spend more time on taking care of my feet and even more time on just maybe resting. I'm hoping that I won't have to rest too long. So these vests, these two red ones, which they happen to be both red. If I could find a hot pink vest, I would buy a hot pink vest. Even white, actually. White would be good, although it would get dirty fast, but white would be good because of sun. It wouldn't reflect as much sun on you. But the more pockets that a vest has, the more storage that it has, the better. This has storage in the back. These both have two inserts here. One is for the 2-liter bladder or 1.5-liter bladder that goes here. And then it also has a second compartment so that you can put even like a thin windbreaker if you're going into the mountains, and even a change of socks, a change of underwear, and room for 2 flasks up at the front. You could probably even fit 2 additional smaller flasks, like the 0.33 liter ones. That might be a 12 ounce. So that is what I wear my hydration vests for. And like I said, the blue one is for anything as little as a 5K. I will wear it loud and proud. I do not care. And I will continue to wear them even if I'm doing the 5K. Usually I'll always have, tissues with me, one snack just in case, and some flask that has water in it. So do not worry about what anybody else thinks about you, and maybe, these internet and social media trolls that make fun of people who wear vests, hydration vests, for anything under a 10K. Godspeed. Good for you if you don't need to, or if you don't want to. We want to. We are the Hydration Vest gang. So sayonara. Thank you very much for coming to our TED Talk. We are going to continue to wear hydration vests for any distance we want. The second topic I want to talk about is injuries and rebuilding after an injury, into your running journey, walking journey, rebuilding after injury. The only way through is through. The only way forward is forward. There is no other way around it. You can stop, but the only way through an injury is through the injury. I have had several injuries. None of them have been serious, thank goodness. But what I mean by, a slight ailment or a slight injury is I have had serious Achilles issues. This was 2 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago now. And my Achilles were at one point so painful. I had tried everything. I had tried shockwave therapy, dry needling, massage, and it just kept coming back. Sometimes things happen for a reason. Sometimes we see things for a reason. And what I had seen was Jimmy Pipe running Jimmy Pipe's video. He's a PT from Australia. And when I saw that video pop up on my Instagram feed, I knew that it popped up for a reason. And what he showed was a seated calf raise exercise where you are sitting on a chair or a bench and you have a ledge, a small bench in front of you, or a small ledge type step that you can put your one foot that you're about to do the exercise with on it. And the next thing that he showed was that once your foot is on that ledge or that little step that you've put in front of you, you then load up your knee, the knee that's raised, the foot that's on top of the ledge, you load that with a weight. And then you start to do these. So the foot is elevating up and lowering below the step while the knee still is loaded with a weight. So I'll show you a picture of what that looks like right here. I have videos of that. And if you want to message me on Instagram, because I don't think you can message me through YouTube, if you want to send me a private message on Instagram, I'm happy to send you a video of this. That exercise has changed the trajectory of my running. The reason I had very painful Achilles is because my soleus muscle, oh dear Lord, this right here was weak. It wasn't tight, it was weak. And that's one of the other problems with, I don't know that if it's a problem with listening to social media, because obviously I found this exercise through social media, but I don't know why the physiotherapist that I was seeing here didn't know about this exercise and didn't show me this exercise and didn't clue into the fact that my soleus muscle was weak. Why was it weak? It made sense that it was weak. It was weak because I was overusing that muscle. My lower part of my body was doing a lot of work. Also, I didn't have the correct running kind of footwork back then when this happened. So I was still heel striking, and now I'm forefoot striking. That's another story. If you are interested in heel striking versus forefoot striking, that's another topic on its own, and it's really interesting. So I was heel striking before, and that meant my heel would hit the ground first before any other part of my body did. And so if your heel is hitting the ground first, you're doing a lot of contraction with that part of the calf. And the soleus muscle is located, pretend this is the lower bottom, this is my knee, this is my ankle. So that soleus muscle is right here in the calf muscle, and it was doing a lot of work. It was doing so much work. And on average, in 1 year, I did around 1,700 miles of running and walking, because that's what the daily 5Ks worked out to, plus the additional long runs I would do on the weekend. So anyways, back to injury and getting back from injury. I saw this exercise on Instagram. I tried it. I did it 3 times a week. It literally healed that Achilles, and I got back to running painful. The second example I will give you of a recent injury, kind of injury that I've had. Overuse results in injury if you do not counter the overuse with strengthening. So what was happening with me as I started ramping up my miles, right in my glute, I felt something pulling every time I would run. And it started from the glute and it would radiate down kind of in my hamstring. So the back of my thigh. It's not sciatica. It was this weak glute muscle. So now that I had a coach and my coach was creating my running program for me, the one thing he suggested that I do was David Roche's mountain legs. And this is a quick 2-3 minute exercise that I would do 3 times a week. And since I've been doing it, that radiating kind of feeling that would run down the back of my leg from my glute, so from my butt, kind of down my hamstring, started to go away. So injuries are opportunities, and the opportunities can make you stronger if you explore, why is the injury happening to me? Why is it happening? A lot of women, as you know, if you're on social media, if you're watching videos on YouTube, a lot of women start to lose muscle mass and bone density as we age. If we do not replace that with strength training, it's a slippery slope downhill, and it just keeps, it's like a snowball. It'll keep snowballing. So yes, it's great that I was running, but no, it wasn't great that I wasn't strength training properly to manage the increased load of running, the increased mileage that my coach gave me, but also that I put onto myself since January, since starting this road to 100 miles. Injuries are opportunities. I want you to think of it that way, because it is nothing more, nothing less than an absolutely amazing opportunity. Your body is signaling to you that, hey, you are ignoring me. Hey, I need attention in this zone. And it's amazing. If you can figure out what it is, then you are on the right track to alleviating that injury and preventing it from getting worse. Chances are, and I know this seems like a generalization, but I'm going to generalize here. Chances are, if you are not doing step-ups, like I showed you in the David Roche mountain legs, that I wasn't doing either. If you are not doing something like that, where you have to step up to another level, and if you are not doing some form of lunges, reverse lunge, side lunge, if you are not doing some form of ankle work, so if you are not doing some form of standing heel raises, double heel raises, single heel raise, where you are holding onto something and you're lowering yourself with one foot and then raising yourself back up. The seated heel raises, if you are not doing any combination of those, you will eventually get injured if you are running a lot. I'm not a coach. I'm not a PT. This is a disclaimer that this is just my friendly advice. But I have been running in a 250-pound body for almost 9 years. And I think that gives me some rights to tell people what has worked. And telling people to strength train more, I don't think is a bad thing. Not to mention, even if it's not because you want to be a runner, if it's because you want to have a strong body, and if you fall, you will get back up faster, you will come back from the fall faster, that should alone be reason enough to do some sort of step-ups and lunges and heel raises, even 2 times a week or 3 times a week. I kid you not, it will benefit you in the long run, multiplied, like compounded, like a savings account. It will compound. That $2.15 that you get in that savings account weekly compounds over years. Trust me, as a financial advisor during the day, interest and dividends compound. Enough of that. So having experienced some injuries in these last almost 9 years, funny enough, has led to increased confidence in running. Problem solving leads to confidence. Every time I feel a slight niggle in my ankles, I'm like, oh, there's the sign. I need to do some heel raises. And I do. And that leads to confidence in running. If you have confidence in running, you've just increased the likelihood of you enjoying running, enjoying walking, because your Achilles affect walking too. You've increased the chances of you wanting to now repeat that exercise the next day. Nobody wants to repeat pain. That's like the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different reaction, expecting a different outcome, but you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're never changing. How can you expect a different outcome? So injuries are normal. Injuries are opportunities to strengthen something. Injuries are our body's way of talking to us and letting us know, hey, slow down, back up, and let's do a few moves. The body is so amazing that even if you do one Sunday of these lunges and reverse lunges and step-ups, you will feel some sort of improvement in a few days just from doing that Sunday's, 10-minute, 15-minute activity. The body is absolutely remarkable. And I'm telling you that when I had that Achilles issue and I started with those heel raises, I started with I think a 15-pound plate, and I found the plates, those weighted plates at like Value Village, or what do you guys call it in the United States, Salvation Army. They sell used weighted plates. Just buy something that's used. You don't have to go out and buy it new at the store. But when I did 3 sets of 20 reps, honest to goodness, I felt a difference the next day. I continued doing it that first week 4 times in that week, and it was virtually gone. So confidence comes from solving problems that you have. And problems with exercise are absolutely normal. They do not indicate that you shouldn't be doing this. They're indicating that you should be doing this differently. So let's do it differently, fix the problem, and move on. There was another comment on last week's episode about confidence and showing up and feeling the jitters at the start line. This is going to be my third Javelina 100 race in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's now like I'm 72 or 70 days away from stepping on the start line. And if you watch the documentary that I made about last year's race, I was crying that morning. The day before the race, just before we went to package pickup, I was crying. When we drove home from package pickup, I had a hysterical breakdown. And then the morning of the race, I was crying. I was so nervous, had such severe imposter syndrome. And it's absolutely normal because you have just stepped outside of your comfort zone. So let me replace Javelina 100 with starting an exercise regimen. I'll replace Javelina 100 because not everybody's going to sign up for a 100-mile race, and replace it with walking around your block in your neighborhood. That could make some people feel so nauseous because other people will be looking at them. This is completely understandable. This makes you completely human. It doesn't make it easier, but it makes you human. And there is no other way around it but through it. There is no other way around these feelings but through. You just have to go through. You just have to do it over and over and over and over. And then it does get easier. You know why? It doesn't get easier because it's easier. It gets easier because you have become more confident. You have become stronger because you've proved to yourself, oh my God, I've already been here. I've been here 10 times. I've done this block 10 times. I've ran this route or walked this route 15 times. I'm a pro. I'm an average pro. Repetition makes things easier. Repetition makes things easier. Doing something once doesn't make things easier. Repetition makes things easier, and repetition builds confidence. Motion is lotion. That is just motion is lotion. These sneakers, the new sneakers that I just got, they're going to feel easier after 5 runs in them. You don't wear a brand new pair of sneakers on a race day because you might get blisters. You would have already worn them once to wear them in. Just like confidence doesn't come from doing something once. So we're almost at the end of episode 3. And I hope I've answered some of your questions that you posted from episode 2. You may notice some slight lighting difference in this section of the podcast. That is because my technical crew forgot to turn on the ring light. And I am not recording the entire podcast again because I forgot to turn on the ring light where this phone is sitting on. So you guessed it, I'm recording this podcast on my phone. Anyways, the quote I wanted to leave you with on this podcast, episode 3, is, do you want to feel comfortable or do you want to suffer? We have a choice in how we feel every time we put on our sneakers. Comfort comes from doing what you want so that you feel good in the body you're about to go do something in. For me, I go back to wearing the hydration vest. That hydration vest makes me feel comfortable. It also makes my tatas feel comfortable and not like they're flailing all around my face. So they are like an extra boulder holder, okay? My hydration vest is truly like an extra boulder holder. So I wanted to leave you with that quote. Do you want to feel comfortable or do you want to suffer? The second reason that quote applies to this episode is because you can continue to not resolve the problems that you have with moving your body, or you can begin resolving them one bit by one bit. By being curious, by searching up, even on Google, even on YouTube, where is the discomfort that you feel? Is it in your glute? Is it in your thigh? Is it in your hamstring? Is it in your quad muscle? Is it in your lower back? Begin by being curious about your own body and solving your own problems. I don't think there's any harm in trying some exercises and trying to resolve weaknesses that you have. Obviously, this is just my advice. Seek out a physiotherapist. If you don't have access to a physiotherapist, that's where I recommend trying some of the exercises that you see other licensed doctors of physiotherapy show people on the internet. Never before in this lifetime have we ever had as much access as we do to physiotherapy, to muscle rehab, to professionals showing us how things can be done. Yes, sometimes the answer is not in that. Sometimes that can lead to bad things, but use your own judgment. Like, we have a brain, let's use the brain for something. So be curious about resolving the issues that you have. Choose comfort or choose discomfort. That's what I leave you with in episode 3. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed filming it. And I hope you get a kick out of, some of my comedic acts. And I was really good in drama at school. Maybe that's because I came from an immigrant family and we tend to have a weird sense of humor. So till next time, thank you for watching episode 3. I can't believe it's episode 3. And till next week. Until then, enjoy having the body that you have. Motion is lotion. Get out there, your pace, your race.